So this week, we start today. Today's your first day. You did it. And each day in the community, I will have a post for you that gives you a little introduction to what I'm calling Essence and your three advisors. The Essence and the three advisors are not new. I had to put names to them because I'm Western, and I just couldn't get the felt sense of these until I made them a little more tangible. And I had to simplify things and make it part of the practice that I do with Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga and all of the things. So this week, each day, those will be posted. And they're, between 10 to 30 minutes. The very first one is a little bit longer because it's an introduction and gives you a nice background. And in those, I give you 3 ways of accessing the things that we're going to be discussing. And the reason why I do that is because everybody's a little different. Sometimes it takes physical movement for you to get into certain places. Sometimes it's mentally, sometimes it's emotion. So I want to incorporate all of these so that you have a little way to get in. So each day is a focus on one of the advisors and Essence, and then at the end we integrate them all. Just so you know, for me anyway, this was not an easy thing. It took me, okay, I'll be honest, it's taking me every day of practicing and uncovering more. And that's kind of what I love about it, is that there's no perfection here. This is, it just is. And it takes me out of this Western place of striving for perfection or striving for a goal. It simply is just part of life. And I think that's what I love about it so much. So those daily practices are accessible in many different ways, and just kind of giving you a taste of what we'll be doing. There are 3 ways that these will be sent to you. I will have an email that's sent with a link. So for those of you who get my emails, you will get it that way. It will also be a notification in the community, so you may get an email for that. And then the email that I sent already has the main link to the community, and our channel is that, Essence Week. So you can always just go on your own. Okay. All right. I think that's enough of the housekeeping. Other than that, if I told you in one of the emails that I'm having a program that's coming up, a course that dives a little deeper into these practices. And if you're interested in continuing and joining that, then with this daily practice, if you log in, do the practice, and post something about your practice, then you'll get a 25% discount on that course. For those who are members, this is free to you. And those who are members of my online coursework, it will be free to you. And this will go into more of the Chinese medicine background for five elements and things like that. So tips for doing this. One of the things that really helps me in my daily practice is to set a notification, an alarm, something to remind me that I'm folding in something new. And you know what? It's not always easy. It's so hard to get something new into your already maybe busy schedule. So sending yourself a calendar or an alarm or something is helpful to keep you on, on track. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is working with the subtle energy body. So making sure that these practices are gentle to you, that anchors you a little more deeply. There's no right or wrong. There's just being in it. So I want to give you a sense of ease about this as well. Okay. So thoughts, questions, comments before we start into the presentation. All right, folks. I'm going to share my screen with you and see if I can do it properly. Okay. So can you all see the image of the seated body with the three energy centers? Okay. These are energy centers. And let me just grab some water. And they're really important for our day-to-day lives. We also call them dantians. So if anybody has taken classes with me, there are three dantians: upper, middle, and lower. And I have sort of renamed them because over time I started noticing that I was getting some information from them, and it was good information, sometimes overwhelming at times. But so the upper dantian is our mental advisor. It's where our brain is, and it gives us thoughts and chatter and lots of things to think about. The middle dantian is our emotional advisor, and it senses our mood and gives us information about how we feel about the day-to-day, moment-by-moment things we're going through. And the lower dantian is what I call the physical advisor, and it's giving us information on what's happening physically in our bodies. And these three are quite brilliant and tied into our nervous system. The job of these dantians is simply to give us information about our circumstances and what we are involved in on a moment-by-moment basis. They generate thoughts, emotions, physical sensations. And you know what? They're deeply interdependent. When one is activated, the other two aren't separate from that. And the part of us that watches and notices is called our essence. This can also be thought of as Shen, as the spirit of us, as our natural being, as our original being. I just call it essence because that seemed to give it a quality that I appreciated, that pure part of us that is not affected by these three, but witnesses it. And they are deeply important, these three. They keep us alert. They keep us alive sometimes. They keep us active and going. And I really want to drive home how interdependent they are, that they, when one is highly activated, you may notice that the other two are triggered as well. So as you notice, this physical advisor, I had this experience that I posted about in the community about driving my car and being in the turn lane. It was my turn lane. And there was a cyclist who got over into my turn lane and started heading right for me. And boy, my heartbeat started up, and the other two were activated. You can read about it and notice how these all work together. So there are times when we are just really in all of our thoughts. So, when that experience was happening to me and I was faced with this cyclist and I'm in a 2-ton car, you can imagine that as my physical body responds and I slow the car down even more and my heart rate intensifies, that I was thinking some things about this cyclist, noticing those thoughts. I was feeling scared and angry and confused. So that's how these all work together. And it does change with the uniqueness of the experience. I had never experienced anything like this before, and it was kind of fascinating. So sometimes our advisors are so charged that we lose the essence. And in Chinese theory, that's when our Shen roams. That's when we lose the center of ourselves. We lose the tether of ourselves to, being the spirit of us. And it is challenging. And that's what our challenge is for this week, is to just simply notice this essence, build capacity within it so that when we find ourselves in these challenging moments, when our dantians and our advisors are on full tilt, that we find ourselves really witnessing them and going, wow, I feel very activated right now, and staying with the essence of us so that we can respond to these situations rather than react to them. So that is the essence of what this is about. And I want to say that, give you sort of an example of a situation that what is happening within us doesn't end within us. Okay? It's not just our systems that are responding to this. So let's just say I got very activated and very angry. And I walk into the kitchen and my husband is in the other room and I just start slamming cabinets, doors, because that's kind of a favorite of mine, is slamming stuff. And and he hears this and comes in and says, calm down. Well, I don't want to calm down when I'm activated like that. And what happens is, the fact is that he comes in to calm me down because my systems have activated his, and he doesn't want to feel the activation. And so that's where our chi is a shared experience. We all have it. We're here together. And so when we find ourselves really highly activated, we can put words to it. I can walk in and say, I am really angry right now. I really want to slam some cabinet doors in the kitchen. And express ourselves in a way that allows the people around us to also not get activated, because we are in the truth of the matter. And the truth is, it's okay to be angry. It's all right to have feelings. It's all right to be activated. These three centers are important, and we're still able to be human. So the other thing that happens when we're still in our essence and we can say, I'm really angry, I need some time, is that it opens this capacity that our centers aren't activated, are maybe activated, but we have space to be in that activation and still be really centered. So the situation isn't heightened. We're not holding it in. We're not building the situation with more thoughts that create more emotion, that build the physical sensations. We're in just simply watching and expressing the truth of it. So, what does this also have to do with Tai Chi and Qigong, and where does that all fit in? Well, this activation in these three centers does really affect the physical body. It does create tension, not just higher heart rate, higher blood pressure, and illnesses over periods of time. It creates, and I know a couple of you are massage therapists and body workers, it creates issues in our tissues. And this is where we get into the fascial network and the studies of the nervous system that connect into this vast body, physical body that we have of fascia, which is integrated everywhere. It's around the bones, it's through every muscle, it's all through the organs, it separates the organs and connects them. It's the most innervated tissue that we have. So it is directly connected to our central nervous system, to our, and there is research out there showing that our emotions contract this tissue. That's a huge discovery. And this tissue also holds the interstitium, which is where qi flows. So when we have contractions and crunchy areas in the body that are rooted in the reactions that we have to these three centers and to trauma and to in injury and illness, these practices of Tai Chi and Qigong open up, they unwind, they lengthen the tissue, they create a space for this fluidity to happen. This is an access, Qigong and Tai Chi, to opening up these areas that are affected by the overactivation in our hearts, our minds, and in our bodies. So the practice of watching from our essence gives us the ability to build a better evenness between being in our essence and being witnesses of these three really important advisors that we have. They are almost these advisor filters of what's going on in the spaces around us to the essence of who we are. And if we can use them as filters rather than defining ourselves by them and being in them all the time, then we are practicing true Qigong, true Tai Chi, and using these practices for longevity and peace and better relationships. So my hope is that these practices for the next 6 days will help open up an awareness and give your practice some depth and body. Any thoughts on this? Any questions or comments about essence, about the three advisors, about why I have glasses on the top of my head while I have them on my eyes?
Lucy, I would say, I don't know if this is exactly what you were maybe hoping for, but I would say this is really fascinating and wonderful. In therapy, I've been learning about internal family systems, or IFS, where they
Yeah.
talk about all the parts and the firefighters and everything. And it was really hard for me to access. But the way that this has been set out into three makes it a lot more manageable. So for that, I am appreciating being here and what you're doing. Thanks.
That I have to say that is one of the a very incredible practice, if not therapy, that I think is really powerful for anybody who has experienced trauma. And I am not sure there is one person that gets out of this life without experiencing trauma, you know. And so I'm glad that it's resonating with you, Joy, because I've been through, now I can't remember his name, is Daniel. I can't remember the guy who developed this system, but it is super powerful. And this, this witnessing does a similar thing. It brings us right into the moment rather than going back to sometimes what happens is we go into a story of of what's happened before, and we react to a current situation with the history of a past situation. It's our survival instinct, and we reinitiate the trauma that we felt prior. So we go back to what Joy's talking about, that part of us, and we build on that story, instead of and what this practice does is it brings us right into the present and goes, wow, we then get to go, wow, I see that this is triggering me back to when I was 14 and this happened. So throughout this week, I'd love for you to be able to comment and share your curiosities, your, whatever comes, whether it's weird or chaotic or peaceful or confusing. because this is for us, it's for our collective. And it's for balancing out what Tara Brach, who I love. I don't know if you guys ever listen to her, but she's a really great meditation teacher. And she calls it the othering. It's separating, when we separate, and we're doing that a lot in our culture right now, making it a me against them or us against them. And what I wanted to build is, this is us doing this together this week, encouraging each other and being present for each other and creating a safe space for us to go, wow, I am curious about this, or this sensation hit me. Okay. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is ask you all, we're going to go into a meditation, and I want you to feel, get yourselves as comfortable as possible, whether it's seated or lying down, whether you have support to your back or whatever. It's a short meditation, but after that, we're going to be split into groups so that you have this ability to share, share whatever came up for you for this meditation. Okay. And when we do return and you find yourselves in your groups, if you could turn your cameras on so that people could see you. If you don't have a camera, turn your microphone on so you can, but it would be very nice if you could share your faces. It's helpful. Okay. All right. So settle in, feel free to turn any cameras off for your own peace and quietude, and just settle into your thoughts. Take a moment to tap into your breathing, allow your eyes to gently close. Create comfort for your body. As you inhale and exhale, see if you can feel the softening at the heart. To just ease your mood, your emotions. Maybe even drawing back from noticing thoughts or mental activity and just noticing quiet spaces. Dropping into a quiet, dimmed stillness inside, as if you were in a movie theater. And as the lights dimmed, so did the chatter. Dropping into the stillness of your position. And as you quiet and move into the stillness, I'm going to ask you to, each time you find yourself tapping into your centers, your thinking, your emotions, your body, to see if you can concentrate on the quiet, on the calming, on the inner peace that has nothing to see, hear, feel, or sense, but stillness. In the stillness, the earthly definitions of you are released. In the quiet place that you're in, you can finally let go of what defines you, of the ego that creates the image of you. Of how others might see you. Perhaps even using your breath to let go. Becoming nameless, releasing your name with your breath. Releasing your gender. Untying yourself from any titles. Ones that perhaps you were called by family or friends. Titles from jobs. Definitions from education. Just letting go of what links you to human in the world for just this time, so that you can settle into the stillness to find a different expression of yourself. This requires us to soften everything, to release the layers of what defines us. And it deepens our connection to a quieter part of us that connects us to the undefined. Simply breathing in and out, letting go and dropping in, and watching what's left. And as you let go and drop in, as you release these ties and connections, notice the sensation of content. Nothing extra to do or to be. You are simply the quiet. You are the quiet. And as you settle in to that vast stillness, you tap in to the origin. As you breathe it. This vast stillness. There's nothing to desire, nothing to accomplish. Just resting, connected in the raw essence of you, the center. Tapped in to this creative, peaceful state. Breathing in the stillness. These last moments to just be. You are the quiet. You are the peace. Ready. Breathe in and out. Notice any scents around you. Notice the temperature of the air. Finding yourself slowly coming back. Sensing the sounds around you. Feeling the clothing on your skin. Gently beginning to move fingers, toes, shoulders, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, gently allowing your eyes to open to a soft focus and letting the light come to them. As you come back, I want to encourage you to, again, put your cameras on. All we're going to do is just move into our breakout rooms for about 5 minutes or so. And just talk to each other about, you know, what you felt or didn't feel, about the meditation, about what you noticed. I'll call you back in. So did everybody have enough time? No. Yes. Yeah, I like that answer too. Okay. So I joined one of the breakout rooms and all 3 of my dantians were activated. I found out some very, very sad news. And so, yeah, I mean, this has been good. Thank you. And I appreciate the group that I was with to hold the space while I found out this sad news and cried a little bit. This is how it goes, So it's not easy to rest in stillness a lot of times. And so if anybody found the meditation challenging, that totally makes sense. One of the things I learned from my group is also that while look, can I bring Kathy into this? Kathy, you were saying that you had shoulder surgery, that was, and you had a lot of noise in the background, but she was able to hone in on one thing, and that is, what I had said in the beginning is that this doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, and just resting in the imperfection of it. That was so beautiful to me. Anybody else have any things that they discovered in the breakout that you wouldn't mind sharing about this meditation that, to me, is a challenging one? And what the reason I led with it is because we're also going to end with it next Saturday, Saturday. and just see if anything, what shifts, if anything. So any thoughts?
Really like the untying concept. And we talked about that a lot, of just how that felt and how it kind of like clicked, of really, like, instead of just thinking of like letting go and you're like, I don't know what that is. The untying kind of felt like this weight was lifted and felt like lighter. And I don't know, somehow it really resonated with sort of disconnecting from labels and how you feel like you have to show up in the world based on those labels and stuff. So that was really good.
Nice work. Yeah.
And Charlotte really liked it. So I'm dog sitting, and she like came in while we were doing the meditation. She was just like, I like this. I want to come and be a part of it. Oh, it was super cute. She
So
liked it too.
Hi, Charlotte. Beaker, you had I think you had your hand raised.
So in a class that I teach over Zoom through the University, a stress management class, I'll have students do some kind of meditation each time. And for accountability, I have them not only write about their experience afterwards, but also do a video of themselves. In this age of AI, you just you just have to get creative. And I always want something more like, oh, then, oh, that was relaxing, or that was nice. And now I'm starting to rethink that, which I hate rethinking things for my courses because I am always like reconfiguring this, that, and the other thing. Because I had no desire to be in my language brain. Once you get a chance to, you know, as the shorthand that I use is to do nothing, want nothing, and be nothing for a little while, it's nice to let that lead. And it may be that you want to go nowhere near the language brain for a while. So it's given me pause to think about that.
Now, what a great insight. What a great insight. Yeah. Anybody else feel that way? Like, yeah, Lori's like, that's why I'm not saying anything. No language brain. Right. Any other thoughts or anything anybody wants to share? I want to give you all ample opportunity. Are you all, is everybody clear on how to use the practices and to tap in each day? Okay. All right. Well, I really want to thank you for showing up here. It's a lot to take out of your day and to fold into your daily practices. So I really look forward to hearing from you, you know, in our group each day, and really look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Okay. Congratulations on your first day complete. And we will chat soon.
Love you,
Okay.
Lucy.
Oh, I love you too. So good to see you guys. Take great care.
Bye.
Bye.